Hello again, WHS juniors. Today's lesson here is going to be on absolute value equalities and inequalities. Okay, more than likely this is kind of a thing you may see on the grad portion of the MCA. And I want to review some of the fundamentals of absolute value, what it means, and then we'll get into some kind of problems you could see with absolute values in equations and also in inequalities. So with that said, let's get started. And the first thing I want to do is just remind you what absolute value means. Okay, the absolute value of a number is its blank, and I hope you remember it's its distance from zero. Okay, it's basically what a number is worth. So if somebody says I lost 5 pounds, we could say the number is -5, but the meaning of that number is it's 5. It's the value is 5. It's a good thing if they were on a diet, they lost 5 pounds. Might not be a good thing if you were at a casino and you lost $5 playing cards or something. But the value of the number is 5. So this is what you see for absolute value, the long lines around the number. And here's some examples for absolute values. So if I said to you the absolute value of -3, what I'm really saying is how far is -3 away from 0? So 0 is right in the middle of the number line. This is what you got to get. And there's two sides to 0. So when you say I got an absolute value of a number, it's how far it is from 0. It's just its distance away from 0. So you're either on one side of 0 or the other side of 0, or you are 0. So how far is -3 from 0? Well, it's 3 away. So I want you to look at this and say, okay, I know what's to the left. That doesn't matter. It's 3 units from 0. Okay, absolute value of +3. Well, again, it's 3 units from 0. It's going the other way, but that doesn't matter. It's simply how far you are from 0, and there's two separate sides, just like there's two different sides to your face. Okay, and I can say how far is this here from my nose, and how far is this here from my nose, and you can see that they're both over many inches, that is. Now the absolute value is 0. 0 is nowhere from 0, it's right at itself, so that would be 0. Okay? Now, what you're going to see is situations with absolute values in equations. So here I've got about as basic a problem as you can see. What number, if you absolute valued it, would you get 5? Now if I translate math in English, I'm saying which numbers would be 5 away from 0. And again, I want you to realize there's two sides. There's that side away from 0, which would make it -5, and there's that side away from 0, which would make it +5. So we have got to realize right off the bat, absolute value problems are called compound. Compound means there's typically more than one answer to that thing. And there will be here because there's two sides to 0. So when you get an absolute value equation like this one with a variable in it, solve the absolute value of 4x minus 2 equals 10, realize quite simply that I'm saying when will this be 10 units away from 0? So if you can look at my body, what I'm saying, if my body is at the number 0, and I say I want this to be 10 away from 0, that can occur at -10, I hope you can see this fist, or at +10. Those 2 points will be 10 away from 0. So we automatically split this thing off and we write down 2 statements. 4x -2 could equal -10, or 4x -2 could equal +10. Okay, so that's what we have to remember. There's two sides to 0. There's 2 ways to be 10 away from 0. This could be -10 or +10. And then solving is solving. Okay, we've been doing this for years. We get the letter by itself. We undo combining first, and we get an answer. I get an answer of x is -2. I can go on the other side here. 4x equals, looks like 12. X equals 3. Now, you can always check answers to equations. If I put -2 into my absolute value here, 4 times -2 would be -8. If you take away 2 from that, -10, which when you absolute value it returns 10. So that's correct. If you put 3 in there, 4 times 3 is 12, take away 2 is 10, absolute value of 10 is 10. So I've satisfied the situation and I've got 2 separate answers. Okay? So that's what you got to remember, is that if I'm a distance away from 0, I can be it on the left side of 0 or the right side of 0. Okay?